used to always say that my anxiety was my superpower. It made me strive for perfection. It always made me give just a little extra. This is something that I believed for a long time until I realized that by calling it my superpower, I was giving it power over me. See, anxiety has always been my constant companion ever since I was a little kid. And as I grew up, it only got worse. By the time I hit college, I had general, health, and social anxiety, the trifecta. And yeah, I was uncomfortable all of the time. However, I was also getting amazing grades in college, and I was working a full-time job where I was getting great reviews. This whole anxiety thing was what propelled me through this, and I knew I had to maintain this momentum, so I never took a break. But once college wrapped up and I was left holding my diploma, I found that I was completely lost. I had graduated college with a nearly perfect GPA, but I had no prospects. No one was interested in a little biology graduate who no one could vouch for, and I had no interest in progressing in the field I had been working in, so I was completely directionless. So for many years, I repeated the same pattern as I self-studied microbiology, then got into computers, and eventually got a job as a computer programmer. It was at this point I felt like I could finally stop and take a breath. And when I did, I realized that my superpower had been inhibiting me all along. What I didn't see for all of these years was that the tool I was using had too much power. We're all familiar with the concept that in small doses, something can be great for you, but in large doses, it can cause a lot of harm. Well, anxiety is like this. At its core, it's just a self-preservation tool. It helps us identify and stay away from threats. For myself, I was most concerned with the threat of failure. So in small doses, my anxiety pushed me to study a little extra hard for that test or put in a little extra effort at work just so I can look good. But in large doses, it made me hyper-focus on my studies and my job, to the point at which I avoided all optional social interactions, worked insane hours, and had to rely on substances in order to turn off in the evenings. This was super unsustainable and cost me way too much. So when I finally stopped chasing the goal line, it was almost like I was waking up. Now, it has taken me over a year to get to this point, but it all started with me recognizing that I was constantly obsessing over future or past failures. I would spend countless hours kicking myself over a failed interaction, or I would spend so much time just studying for a test just to ensure I didn't fail it. My immediate moments were always consumed with these thoughts. But when I stopped and accepted that whatever happened in the past should stay there, and that whatever is going to happen in the future is just going to happen kind of regardless of what I do, aside from small, minute things, I felt an almost immediate effect on my general and health anxiety. I let go of that responsibility to perform, the responsibility to live in those other moments. And now on this channel, I'm starting to tackle my social anxiety with you, which is the third of my anxieties. But the most important thing I've taken from all of this is that while my anxieties are easing their grip on me, I'm still that person who works crazy hours or studies long into that night. That perfectionist in me was never my anxiety. Instead, my anxiety kept me from turning down that perfectionist trait in a healthy way. And it made it impossible for me to see the bigger picture or just enjoy being. So, do I still call my anxiety my superpower? Absolutely not. But I don't regret having done so all those years ago. I still love my life back then. I studied countless hours because I absolutely love biology and I wanted to learn all that I could about the natural world. And I did love my job working in the veterinary field. While I would absolutely never go back there, I learned a lot of valuable life skills from that job. Who I was back then wasn't ready to tackle their anxieties. And while I'm curious about how things would have turned out had I addressed them, I don't regret a thing. Well, I hope you got something out of my story. Please drop a comment below about something that you always believed to be true, but now you're not so sure about. Thank you for joining me here on Socially Sprouting. Bye.